All right, so let's just settle, and whatever it is you're bringing in with you this evening, that's just perfectly fine. Just allow it. And check your body posture. So if you are sitting at a desk or on a chair and your feet are on the ground, have them hips width apart with maybe a cushion underneath. Knees parallel, your hips raised, maybe 2 to 4 inches. Hands in the meditation mudra, and your shoulders are aligned with your hips. And just imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just imagine someone is standing above you, behind you, like a puppeteer, just very gently lengthening that string. So just releasing all the muscles along the back. The head is very slightly tipped forward and the eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. And if the eyes were open, you'd be looking at a spot a couple of inches ahead. Tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, and relax the jaw. Lips are slightly apart. So let's just bring our attention to the crown of the head and relax your scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the back of the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth. And bring your attention to the back of the head and relax the scalp there. And relax your shoulders, the shoulder blades. Just allowing everything to drop down, but try not to slump. So you relaxing everything, but at also the same time, it's kind of like just very gently releasing upwards. Not quite a stretch. Just imagine your energy is heading towards the ceiling. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly. Limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And bring the mind to the breath, just noticing the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. If there are any sounds in your environment, just allow them to be there. So right now I have a chorus of crickets in the garden. And this evening they're quite loud. So I'm just going to allow them to be there as I refocus my mind on my breath. And then just notice the thoughts that are arising. So maybe you have sort of feelings, thinking things. Maybe you have even pictures running through your mind from events of today. So try and put some space in between your thoughts, the images, the feelings. And try not to criticize or judge or kind of ruminate over. And just allow the thoughts to arise and abide and flow on. And just imagine we're sitting on the bank of our river, just kind of watching that river flow on by without getting swept away, without getting entangled, without drowning. So we're nice and dry and we're free. And then think of all those people of your life, just bring them to mind, and those 3 groups that we've been working on with. And they're your loved ones, your beloved, your friends, siblings, spouses, family, your besties, work colleagues, school friends, all these people who make up our life, make it rich. These people we have constructive relationships with. And then there are those people in our life who we don't have so much of that kind of feeling for. They're difficult for us, whether they're just irritating, they're not acceptable in terms of their behavior for us, or they've harmed us. And then there's those strangers in our life. And it's always good to remember that the friend, the enemy, and the stranger can change place at any time. And for those people we have constructive relationships with, it's good to remember to try not to take that kind of those special relationships. They're almost like a gift for granted. And think that they're all equal, however we feel about each individual person in that group, those groups. They're equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering, and in having this unbelievable capacity for the enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this Vajrasattva purification practice tonight for all these people of our life, and for the benefit of all sentient beings, and for ourselves as we're moving along in our own pace, in our own way, along our spiritual paths. So I think there is no negativity that cannot be purified, and this purification practice is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so we're also going to create positivity with our mind instead. So first we come to the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we ourselves might experience. So therefore, it makes sense it's logical that we would want to remove those karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows. So if you have refuge vows or bodhisattva and tantric vows, pradamoksha vows, if you've broken them, we're doing this practice to sort of regret, and also it helps to purify. So also regret the anger, attachment, and the rest of the cause of the why we harm others are delusions. And think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, the second step. So refuge. We turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. So we're not asking Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine and his methods. And Vajrasattva, imagine, is above the crown of your head, a couple of inches, facing the same way as you. And you can also imagine this is your guru, your teacher, your mentor, however you see them, manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, like a hologram. And he's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion, and although born out of mud and tainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. And he has this beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility beyond compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two. the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. So, refuge. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we just also think about developing compassion for those who we have harmed and for those who have harmed us. And think and make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So the power of a remedy. This is the actual medicine, the doing of the practice of purification. So we use visualization and recitation of the mantra. So first is the purification of the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and just pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it pours into you until eventually it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So just be delighted that all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And so next is a purification of speech, and Guru Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body. Except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. And so it's just the same as when you switch on a tap and you're filling up maybe a glass that's had yogurt in it or something, and so all the junk just kind of floats to the top of the surface. Except in this case, it's floating to the top of the surface and then kind of gets pushed out of your body in a fairly forceful manner, the top parts. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and kind of lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mibowa, Sutokaya Mibowa, Sipokaya Mibowa, Anarakta Mibowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Mibowa, Sutokaya Mibowa, Sipokaya Mibowa, Anarakta Mibowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Mibowa, Sutokaya Mibowa, Sipokaya Mibowa, Anarakta Mibowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Mibowa, Sutokaya Mibowa, Sipokaya Mibowa, Anarakta Mibowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Mibowa, Sutokaya Mibowa, Sipokaya Mibowa, Anarakta Mibowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Mibowa, Sutokaya Mibowa, Sipokaya Mibowa, Anarakta Mibowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Mibowa, Sutokaya Mibowa, Sipokaya Mibowa, Anarakta Mibowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So feel delighted, just rejoice, your speech is completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. So the minute they hear the sweet sound of your voice, instantly benefits their mind. So the next is a purification of the mind, and imagine that Vajrasattva very compassionately now sends powerful beams of light from his heart, and again it arcs around and enters your crown. And the moment that it hits your heart, it kind of instantly dispels, so all the darkness of the negativity of your mind is instantly dispelled, just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light. It's the same, that fast. So you can imagine that all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, attachment and neediness and jealousy and anger and bitterness and grudges and all these kinds of things that we have going on in our mind, just never ending. Imagine that it's all instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Mibowa, Sutokaya Mibowa, Sipokaya Mibowa, Anarakta Mibowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Mibowa, Sutokaya Mibowa, Sipokaya Mibowa, Anarakta Mibowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Mibowa, Sutokaya Mibowa, Sipokaya Mibowa, Anarakta Mibowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Mibowa, Sutokaya Mibowa, Sipokaya Mibowa, Anarakta Mibowa, Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So the next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. And just imagine this time that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. So if you wish, you can visualize, as you're reciting a couple of mantras, visualize body, speech and mind that we've just done, just as an extra cleanse. Or just imagine light and nectar pouring in, filling you completely, and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anurakta Miboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So just imagine, really try and feel that this has happened, that you're completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream, and even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So your mind and your body feel light. And next is the power of resolve, and this is the fourth step in the purification process, and a really crucial one. And this is the determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. So it's probably not going to be again at this point, but we could think about refraining and working on something that might be a habit for us. For most of us, it's usually about complaining and gossiping. I think it's most people's thing. Not many people are going out kind of deliberately killing things or doing other things that are more harmful. So I think for most of it, it's probably around our speech. So, or maybe we have a habit to eat too many chocolate chip cookies, or we bite our fingernails, or whatever it is we do. Maybe we swear, and there we go, there's our speech. So just think, I'm going to work on something that's sort of a thing for me that I would like to work on, and maybe I can do it for 5 seconds or 5 minutes or overnight while I'm sleeping. And then I've not broken any promises to myself. I haven't set myself a bar that's too high. And I can just keep achieving my goals slowly and humbly and quietly. Okay, so to conclude, Vajrasattva is delighted with us. Wanting to merge with your mind, he melts into white light. So really just imagine this. It just kind of dissolves into you through the crown of your head. And you think, my guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And Lama Yeshe used to call that union oneness. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. So you can think perhaps of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And just think that perhaps the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, O Tub Shul Chang Jin Jam Gon Galloway, Tenzin Kyang Pelaway, Kunzo Dog Porze, Chog Sum Kurway Leg Mon to a Drub. Pa dag sog dulaje gondu jab tin shog. Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe Sherab, beloved teacher leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. So here we are again, gone like a dream,